Good evening from the UK. My name's Gloria, and this is Inception Saturday Night Live. Welcome, everybody. We are streaming live from Inception YouTube, Inception Facebook page, and also from my page. So, from three platforms. And if you join us, please share the post out because I have a wonderful, wonderful guest this evening who's just doing some technical stuff. And when she's done that, we will be moving forward. How are you doing, Faye, with that?
Well, I'm just waiting for it to share, but it's not.
Has it come up yet? What Faye's trying to do, guys, is share the post as we're live now. Has it come up? It's definitely, I know, on YouTube. Yes, it's up on. I've got the green tick.
I've got it on share, but it's not sharing.
It's not.
Can you share it on my post?
Okay, let me have a see. This is a Facebook. We love Facebook.
Put it on ET Connections for me, please.
Oh, anything else? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, guide me through it because it's not working.
I'll tell you what. I will tag you. Oh yeah, Facebook is blocking me everywhere I go recently. Right. No, it won't let me. Oh my gosh. All right. ET Connections. Let me try that one. Got it. And I'm posting it to ET Connections. Hopefully it will go. I've shared it. If you go to your ET Connections, you should be able to share it to your Facebook page. But let me know if it's come up. I do apologize, guys. But for me to post my shows, I have to do it via my own profile page. For some unknown reason, on the Open Minds page and Inceptions page, you got me? They won't allow me to upload a picture or anything for some unknown reason. Hi, Christine. Hi, Michelle. We're just doing some technical Saturday Night Live stuff and sharing it out. And then when we've done that, mute your phone. You and your phones. Mine's muted. It's done. So, Faye, welcome to Saturday Night Live. We've had many a discussion. But for those who may not know anything about you, which I doubt if that could be true, but could you give a brief bio about you, your book, and your experiences for the audience?
Okay, my name's Fay Vale, and I originally come from Leicester. I was born and bred in Leicester. When I got to the age of my early 20s, I had a UFO experience. And what happened was I went to my front doorstep late at night, a empty milk bottle out of the milkman, and there was an orange cigar-shaped craft as I know it now. I don't know what it was at the time, but it was bright orange and it was huge, and it just sat stationary above the houses. But it made a humming, pulsating noise that sort of went, as it did that, it went lighter and darker.
Mm-hmm.
And I did no more than run in and slam the door because it scared the hell out of me. But anyway, I got up the courage to go to the door again, and it was still there. All I did was shut the door, lock up, and went to bed.
As you do.
And never thought no more about it.
Mm-hmm.
But after that, my psychic abilities really kicked in, and I'd see spirit people or ghosts, you know them. I'd walk into a room and probably smell cigars or perfume, everything heightened up.
Yeah.
I'd have premonitions and dreams about things that actually would happen. And that went on for how many years? About 12 years.
Mm-hmm.
And in between, I got up a group, a paranormal group, because I had so many experiences.
Yeah.
you know, ghostly things didn't bother me because I was seeing them all, and just like real people to me.
I can just see you in the paranormal groups. I can just, with your personality, I mean, you must have kicked ass. I can just see it. Yeah, do go on, Faye.
Oh, we had some great times, and we did lots of personal investigations. People would get in touch and say, we've got stuff going in the house, and we'd go around and connect with the spirit and send them to the light.
Yeah.
And we did theatres, we did offices, we did industrial buildings, all sorts of things. But anyway, going on from that, about 12 years later, my boys were a bit older. I had 2 sons at the time. They were quite a bit older, and we lived near water, so they were fishing.
Yeah.
Asked to wake them up at 2 in the morning because they're going night fishing.
Yeah.
So I set my alarm for 2. The first thing I did was look out the window to see what the weather was like because the kids were going fishing. It was raining, and there in the sky was 5 stars in formation, like you get a domino in a 5, whereas 4 and 1 in the middle.
Yeah.
And I thought, I've never seen stars in a formation like that before. And as I looked at them, they just started dancing all over the sky in, you know, at tremendous speeds and ridiculous angles. And I watched them for a good 5 minutes and suddenly thought, oh, they get the boys up. So that was another experience. The third experience was in 2007. And because I had a paranormal group, we would meet up every couple of months, several paranormal groups, and show our evidence or our audio, whatever we picked up. And we stayed at the venue till 12 o'clock in the evening because the lady who owned the place, she said it was haunted by young boys, so she was telling us the ghost story. So it was 12 o'clock at night before we left, me and my friends. And by this time, we'd moved to Lincolnshire, just outside of Leicester. So travelling back home, and it's going through dark, windy roads like countryside, but it's pitch black.
Yeah. In this country, I did it in the Isle of Wight, Christmas time. At night, there is no light. They're dark, winding. You can just get lost and drive forever. I know the feeling. Yeah.
But as we're driving along, all of a sudden, this big white owl flew straight past the windscreen, made me jump because it was so close, landed in the tree at the side of me. And I said to my friend, I said, oh, look at that owl. And she said, well, that's really unusual for around here. So it goes on driving, and there's this light coming towards us on the road in front. And because it was a way away, we thought it was all with the headlights on full beam.
Yeah, someone who hasn't dipped their lights. Yeah, I'm with you, yeah.
But as we're going along, this light coming straight at us like that, and the nearer it got, the bigger it got. So it was a big round light on the road. Well, it came that near that she slammed her foot on the brake because we thought whatever it was going to hit her. So she slammed her foot on the brake and it just went backwards and disappeared in seconds. And we just stood there dumbfounded and said, what was that?
Yeah. I would have said it with expletives.
Yeah, well, we probably did, but
Yeah.
So anyway, going on from that, 2 weeks later, I'm up at 3 o'clock in the morning looking for paper and pencil. I want to know. Never picked up a lot before, only like when you're at school. I mean, I had three children by then. And just a busy mum, basically, working as well. So I'm looking around at 3 in the morning for paper and pencil, and all of a sudden, I had this urge just to draw. But the funny thing was, I'm right-handed, and I was doing it left-handed.
Yeah.
which later on just explained it all to me, because if I was doing it right-handed, I would be in control of what I'm drawing.
Yeah, you'd interfere with what was coming through. Yeah.
So like if I did lines and then question them in my right, my brain would tell me, no, that's wrong, change that. But because it's left hand, it was just free writing.
Yeah.
So anyway, this went on for about 6 weeks, and it was like 2-year-old scribbling. But then after 6 weeks, I actually drew a fish. I can't explain how it was. It was such an urge, and it was like I just had to do it. And,
I mean, if I can just jump in there, it's very hard to explain whatever way after experiences. And the newest terminology I come up with some guests on my recent shows is there's a pull to something. You're pulled to do something, because it's more than an urge, it's a pulling, and you just can't not do it. You just can't. There's no question. You don't reason it. You don't say why, what, when, how. There's just this pull. So that's my new word, this pull to, like I do with my own artwork here, is a pull. And I have no idea what's coming, no idea what's going to end up. And it's just a go with the flow, so to speak. So I do understand that. Yeah.
Yeah, we relate to each other a lot in that way, because I mean your art is amazing as well. I just love it.
My art at the moment. Yeah, thank you.
No,
so where I want to go here now is something that was raised in a few shows I've done this past week, is that what is apparent now, it has been trickling in over the years, but the conversation now is not about so much our ET contact nuts and bolts. It's about the consciousness effect of it. Because now we're in a timeline that we're free to just share, like we all do now. We're sharing experiences. It's become quite apparent that every time there has been an ET contact, back in the day, they'd study the nuts and bolts, and that's all they wanted to know about, and didn't really want to know about the experiences, what had happened to them by experiencing this contact. But now it's a conversation of what effect did it have on the consciousness of the being. In your case, something you'd never done before, which was art. I mean, it wasn't in your reality to be an artist, was it, at any point? No. So that shows why did you have contact? There you go. This is the what do I say, not the conclusion, but the path that it took you is through your art. And from the art, then you've gone in different directions, have you not? Like you do one-to-one now with the artwork. So, and in other people, in my case, it's multiple things. I'm doing media now, live shows, podcasts, with all the contact, and others are doing books or documentaries or, working that way. So I really want to make that statement. It's not about the ET. In fact, I don't actually like to talk about, the nuts and bolts and the ET part of it and what happened when, how. There was a table. It's old news now. It's the effect of that contact. What has it done for me? What it is, and then I see collectively with the other experiences, what has it done for humanity? Does that resonate with you?
Yeah, well, I mean, I look at my life before contact, and my life's completely changed. I'm not the same person.
No.
And so many horizons opened up because, like you say, you look beyond the contact, and you also get so much information and knowledge and things, and synchronicity. All these things are all coming in now.
Yeah.
And also consciousness that, there's far more than what we're ever going to learn in a lifetime.
Absolutely. You're going to have to hold on a sec. I live need to turn the heating off. It's getting too hot. I'll be back. Chat to the audience. Live shows. I live in the real world.
So, you know, experiences don't just happen and then it goes away afterwards. It
Yeah.
can take over your whole life. And
Yeah.
I look at, I mean, I'm married and I look at my husband sometimes who isn't spiritual at all. And I think, you know, I very often think, what does he think? Because I'm not the same person he married, or not the same person. But anyway, we're okay. He's good at grounding.
It's fully grounded. Well, he has to be. I tell you what, I know you, Faye, so he has to be fully grounded to be with you. But however, I mean, maybe that's why I'm single, because there's no Homo sapien sapien can handle me at the moment. But however, the whole point is, have you found after every contact experience where the consciousness shifts, you change, everything changes, that you start creating different things? Well, obviously you are, because now you're doing these one-to-ones. You just told me you've just done 3 or 4 already, and you've got to write them up. So you can see how the effect of contact, I suppose, if I give the analogy, if for those in the audience who don't quite think, maybe they're crazy people, well, we are crazy, obviously. But if you go to work and you meet someone at work, and you make contact with them and they have an effect on you, and then you say, oh, they changed my life.
Yeah.
This person changed. Well, it's a very similar analogy with what me and Faye are discussing now. The contact with these beings changes our lives, and for the better, and brings a freedom of creativity. We never know what we're going to create. We would just create it. So it's spontaneous, so to speak, creation. Now, I've got to ask you for your opinion, and I use the word opinion, just on the back of what we've just discussed. It wasn't like this before, but it's like this now for millions of people on planet Earth that are going through similar. Why do you think, I know we've touched on it before, but I want to stay on like the new timeline now. Why do you think now, are we creating the social, let's say, bracket structure of the new timeline? Because we cannot go into a new timeline with old consciousness, with the same concepts that we had before. Does that make sense? And the same thoughts. That's my truth. How do you feel about that?
I feel quite elated about it, actually, because it's like stepping into a whole new scenario, and the things that we've left behind, we've not left them behind on purpose. They've just drifted away because they're no longer in our consciousness to be important. Don't get me wrong, still family and love and all the normal usual things are very important, because although we've had these experiences and we're opening up consciously and moving on, we are still living on the earth. So we have to have one
participating,
one another, and I think that's that can be quite scary for somebody who's had an experience, and then all of a sudden they think, well, is it this or is it that? And there's lots of confusion then.
Yeah.
But I think the growth comes from within, and we accept what we can deal with.
Yeah.
If we can't deal with it, then the time takes longer, and it opens up gently like a flower, and we get a little bit.
I resonate with that one.
Yeah, then all of a sudden you get the magic light bulb moment.
Light bulb moments. Yeah. Yeah. Oh shit, that's what it means. Also, I want to bring into this, because bloody heating. I'm bringing into this timeline. Also, another thing, it's not just my truth. Not that it has to be my truth to be the truth. I've heard it from others as well. Is I now have this knowing that what we used to separate under the umbrella of paranormal, like we'd have ghosts and spirits telekinesis, psychometry, mediumship, psychic, and blah, blah, blah. There's an awareness and knowing it's all one. It isn't separate. In the past, in the old timeline, there were separate fields. Like you just said, back in the day, you went on paranormal investigations and ghost hunts. But now, I mean, I know from my own personal experience from a year ago, and when I was in a group and I was doing mediumship, I had to, well, I stopped the mediumship in the group because at the same time spirit was coming through, which is earthbound spirits. ET was coming through as well, and the energy was so different. And I kept, and at the time I was going, why is this coming together? This is a first, yeah. And then more beings of different types come through. So I had to stop the mediumship then to process these new energies coming through. So what I'm trying to say is, I hope I've articulated it correctly. At one point, you'd have ET experiences separate from ghosts, or you'd have the paranormal ghosts after the ET experience, like the heightened psychic, or people call it poltergeist. I don't follow that narrative, but let's use that. But it seems now, not just I, many others are experiencing all things at all times in this timeline. Does that make any sense to you, or would you like to add to that? Because I'm exploring this now.
I think you just mature into it because for a start, when you first start seeing ghosts or spirit people, it's quite bewildering and a bit of a shock. It's obviously it's scary. You've not experienced it before, but as you experience it more and more, so it becomes like the normal.
Yeah.
But because it's happening all the time, and then when the ET part comes in as well, it's almost like you've gone up another step of the ladder, another ladder, because that's already cemented in. So we don't need that to be the foremost thing anymore, because we've gone above that.
Yeah, I'm with you.
And so it's not like a combination. To me, it's not like a combination of both. It's like both from one to another.
I know. I hear you. I mean, I'm going to add to that and see what you think, because this is it's a good, healthy discussion to have. I never realized truly why I've just started creating the new Open Minds podcast, Waking the Dead Ghost Stories. And I knew it was to bring it into mature or do your steps for everyone to take that to go. And I knew that, and it's just gone by itself. But it's also come into my realization, my personal journey, because when I was a toddler, so I was born into what you call mediumship. It was from birth. And I spent many years seeing all these dead people and thought they were just dead people, all of them, because ET was not in my reality. The word alien wasn't in I lived such an isolated life. So I couldn't infer to that, or it didn't, and there was no internet, there was no alternative media. And it wasn't till around about 1987, whenever Whitley's book came out, when I saw that, then I went, shit, after I got over the shock. They weren't dead midgets or dead children. There was spirit there, but these were the greys. Now, I never knew. So for me, I've come to the understanding, as we become more open and talk about, and that's what the podcast will be as well, there'll be other beings in your experiences, just like me, that you never knew were there, because it wasn't in your reality. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, definitely, because after my last experience, I had the greys in the bedroom, and I'd wake up with bruises or marks or things, and it was the same when the ghost first appeared, and it scared me, and I would be afraid to go to bed. But then it happened so many times that I got used to that again. And I didn't feel like they were benevolent. I felt that they were inquisitive and they wanted to know as much about us as we did about them.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it does. It is. I like the theory that's going around. I mean, no one knows the complete truth about anything, but I've come to an understanding. We know it's the way you perceive things. Many people perceive that they're interfering with us, but I don't perceive it that way. We're learning from them. Like, what do we gain from them? Well, my God, how many people have I interviewed with a conscious expansion? I had Kate on yesterday, and she's been given quantum physics, creation. I mean, the information coming in is you wouldn't get it from anywhere. And the self inquiry, the healing, not just psychological healing, but physical healing of major ailments, and also at the same time, so we are learning from them and they are learning from us. So it's just like if we all got up together and we're all different, we got different fields. Like my past field is criminology, yours is, I don't know, what is your past field apart from being a ghost hunter and an ET?
Well, I mean, I've always worked
brain surgeon, but all of us coming together and sharing information. So we feed off each other and we learn from each other. And again, the analogy is, I see that's what's happening now. And the maturity of the Homo sapien for the new timeline is, and they're assisting that, but we are also assisting that. Does that make sense?
Yeah, definitely. We're like the teachers, and you know, we don't know all the answers, but lots of the answers will be given, or will our consciousness will open the answers up.
We get more light bulb moments. Yeah, I would say, like, we know everything that is, but we're in the limited Homo sapien being, and it will express itself at the right time in the right place. That's that sort of thing. I mean, I have to ask you, I'm going to stay on the paranormal because I think it's really important at the moment that for me anyway, and others, is that I'm seeing it all as paranormal. So even the elementals, people are talking about more so now of experiencing the energies of elementals, and what we were told was myth and legend, because we all told the stories. Actually, non-religious people are even experiencing this type of energy being. So we don't want to just exclude it to spirit, earthbound spirits or ET. There are other energies on earth that we are encountering. Does that resonate with you?
Oh, definitely. And even like animal communication, that seems to have.
Oh God, yes, yes.
It's not just that. Even when you're on the walk and the birds sing, you tend to answer him back now in your head. And
yes. Honest, do you know how many times I've heard that? I've heard it in my groups and from I run, and from other guests, and even I've experienced it too. And it's like, recently I adopted one of my children's cats, because he's an old guy, and I'm telling you, there's somehow how it works. He knows exactly everything, and I know what he wants. He knows if I walk in the room and he's sitting on my chair, I don't have to say get down. He looks up, he's fast asleep, and he gets down, then goes on my. And please don't minimize this if you're starting the contact between it, and you just know what they're thinking, if that makes sense. It's an energetic, and even where I live in the village, there's fox and wood pigeons and the squirrels. I call all squirrels Kevin the squirrel, and I can't tell you what's happening between them. It's like, and they're closer. They're coming closer to the human, and normally and I'm hearing this everywhere. Normally these animals know that what do humans do? We kill animals for sport. Yeah, we've got a very bad record here, but they're still coming closer and closer and closer to us. So yeah, that's another good point you've raised there. that things are changing in our reality.
I mean,
Sorry?
we're even recognising animal calls when they're in trouble or something. You hear a cat or a dog or a bird, and you think, "Oh, somebody's hurt." You know, an animal's hurt.
Yeah. Just like you would with your child's cry, you would recognise. You'd recognise a child temper tantrum, a child, just sick, or a child hungry, or a child dirty, and nappy. That means the mother recognises what that cry is. You don't need to look or anything. And I agree with you. It's happening with animals.
It's even the same with plants. I mean, I don't know.
Yes.
I talk to my plants, and
Right.
I'll stroke the leaves and tell them it's beautiful, and they grow amazing.
Yeah, I'm telling you, it's happening. Yeah, I talk to mine. I've been talking to mine for years, and and sometimes it's just so clear. There's no words, and and it's just an energy comes back, and I smile, or there's this sensation. But I'm hearing that also everywhere in the groups, everywhere. They're going out into nature, more connecting with the elementals and plants, especially trees. I have to say the trees as well. I go up to a tree and I breathe my carbon dioxide and it gives me oxygen. I just thought I'd throw that one in, guys. I'm getting, you know why, I'm hearing a lot of stories and experiences about, am I mad? No, you're not. Your experience, our individual experience is true to us. And each experience is your truth. So why would you be crazy? You can certainly tell the difference when you're hallucinating, i.e. that means you've either gone on hard drugs or something like that, or licked psilocybin mushrooms, then maybe we could say you're crazy. But when you're in everyday life and these experiences are occurring, dogs and cats and even the wild animals, this is happening all the time. Like the animal whispers everywhere. They're just popping up. And they've got this pull to get involved with animals, or pull to go and connect with nature. I know it sounds wooey and love and light to connect with nature. It's the experience itself is nothing like what you think it is. But yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you. Anything else that you've picked up that's happening?
I think on the side of that is so much more understanding that these beings, these plants, these animals, we're all connected, and it's only the outer that's different.
Yes,
the inner is the same.
Yeah,
and we all begin from something. We all grow, we all die, and we all reseed, and it's exactly the same. So why should we connect?
Yeah, no, I agree.
I
mean, I think it's part of breaking the polarity, them and us, from the old timeline. I mean, I'm experiencing now more beings that give without judgment, that share without conditions. Yeah. So giving without, without anything to come back, and sharing, sharing. It's like a one-way force going on. I know it's two, but it's one energy flow. And instead of being judgmental, slagging off, your truth is wrong, mine is right, I'm not seeing that. And all of us we've all got different truths, yeah? And we all come together with totally different truths, what we think it is, but we all know, none of us know what it is. It's a journey. And there's no clash, there's no division, there's no opposition. And we can have a discussion about anything, and we just go, wow, that's interesting. I experience it this way. Wow. That is shifted, I think, exponentially compared to even a year ago. Does that resonate with you?
But like, when we all share different things, even though we don't agree, it sparks off that light bulb again, and we're thinking, you can walk away and then you can wake up the next morning and it's on your mind, and then you start exploring it, and so it goes on and it goes on and it goes on.
Yeah. And then and then obviously we can step into, remember guys, this is all coming from contact. This is experiencers talking, so I can't speak for anyone else that's a non-experiencer. Not that there could be anyone that is a non-experiencer, who knows. But these, so what's happening with the shift of the effect of contact is not just changing what we could say our intellectual capacity to reason and to discern, to use discernment. It heightens it. Not only any abilities that every being on earth has, everyone, if you want to label it, is a medium. Well, you know, if you want to. If you don't, it's not your journey, don't do it. But it's also given us an internal social structure, a community to start again, but without the judgments, the biases, the condemnation, you know, the debunking, my way or the highway. Does that make sense to you?
Oh, definitely. And we are all different. We're all individuals. So we're not a collective that all thinks the same. Because if we were a collective that all thought the same, where's the challenge?
Yeah, it'd be boring anyway. It'd be boring.
You know, to seek other things or go down other paths. Because every time we divert and go down another path, we learn a whole lot more. And this is what it's all about. You look at the human heart and how many veins go to it to feed it with blood. It's one whole, and it beats and keeps everything going. And it's the same thing. And it doesn't matter where it enters, it's still part of.
No, I hear you. Sorry, something just happened then, so I got a bit distracted. And yeah, it always does happen. I hear you, and I'm sort of seeing now with all these changes. So, you know, I recall the experience. I've mentioned it before, way back in the day, and how to be human. Yeah, how to have human concepts, to take on human beliefs, and what obviously, you know, we're going through now is deconstructing that. Letting go of that, because they're not our beliefs, what we believe. They're what's been given to us by our parents, society, government, and whatever religion your family are in. We all take on their beliefs, and we are told that we need to be told what to do. We can't function without being told and controlled. However, what this new timeline has exposed and what's been happening through this experience that we're going through is we've also found that shifted on this timeline as well. We are responsible for what we do. And that means, you know, someone tells you, Faye, go kill Gloria, you have a choice to do it or not to do it. You know, you don't have to do it. But then if you want to do it, you can. That's the most easiest I'm going to give you on choices. I don't want to go down that road, and Faye knows where I'm going. But we've also, when we started, I didn't realize I had a choice. You know, It's a case of, you know, like I'll give you another example that may be more relevant if you're slightly older, you know, in our age bracket. You know, like when you come out of your family home and you go into a relationship, and it's normally marriage back in the day. The church said you couldn't live together or you'll burn in hell. So you're forced into a marriage, whether it was good or bad. You'd been taught how to be a wife and a mother by your parents, who had been taught how to be a wife and a mother, who had been taught, and did you see where I'm going with this? And then at some point, and obviously as consciousness has expanded, you realize I don't have to do that. It's a belief. It's a belief that was given to me. I'm trying to make this so basic, guys, just to start off with. And once you let go of that and you do what you truly want to do as a wife or a husband or a partner, now you don't have to marry, you find the freedom in that. And that life becomes easier when you start finding your own truth, not your own belief, your own truth of what you choose to experience. Did I get that out right? It was really hard to say that one.
Yeah, I know what you mean. And yeah, it is. It's really hard. It's a bit like the old post office thing when you go in and you had the stamp and went boing, and
Yeah.
that's what happens, and that's it. Then it's established.
Yeah, and it stays like that. And that leads us to the next part where I was going with this eventually around the houses and up the hills was what is also I noticed on the old timeline is we go after excited to change, we stagnate, we stop, and we just keep going and going because we found something new to stay with it. We don't expand anymore. That I found a lot in the old timeline because I talked to people, and even I did it many times. I did it. I stagnated, and someone said to me, "Why don't you look at that?" And I went, "What?" I never thought about that. It's related to what I was researching, and I go, "Oh yeah," and I go off. So I learned from trial and error to never try to stagnate in one place, so to speak, or one experience, because you end up just putting your slippers on in old age and dying. Does that make sense to you? And this timeline, it seems age doesn't come into it now. There is
No,
no, is that, are you feeling that? You're not waiting to a certain age to retire. There is no certain age to retire. There is no age. You just
the only,
continue.
the only thing that ages is your body, the same as your car will age, and then it
Yeah,
needs new parts to
yeah,
keep it going.
yeah,
But in the end, it's discarded, and you buy a
yeah,
new one. And it's
yeah.
the same thing. The body ages and the body deteriorates.
And then you
But
get a new one.
there's a saying that John Lennon said, and he always said, it's like stepping out one car into another.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's exactly what it is. And age, the only thing that can be frustrated is because your mind never stops, expansion never stops. And sometimes you just think, I've said
Mm,
it loads of times, why can't I be like other people my age and just want to go bingo and do this and do that? A bit like I couldn't
mm,
even contemplate being like that because once you have contact or once this
mm.
whole horizon opens up to you, there's no stopping. There's no stopping
There's
whether
no
it's
stopping. It doesn't matter about that your car, your old bones are aching and squeaking and paining, and you just keep going because it's just like a, I don't know, a consequence of
it's
action.
like, it's like a treadmill when you live the house on the treadmill and you just go and go and go. You're not going anywhere, but you're going and you're going and
Yeah,
you're going.
I haven't been on a treadmill in years, no a bicycle, so I don't even go there. It exhausts me. I want to stay on this thing about this illusion of age as well. Um, when I went to the Isle of Wight for the Christmas period, if you'd heard me on the beach, the island's just full of beaches and palm trees, and that's where I intend to move to soon. Um, and I was saying to the friends I was with, Rosie and Graham, and I was saying, look at that. And I saw multiple times, I'm going to guess roundabout, they even look good, about 80-year-old men and women either jogging or power walking around the beach. And I stood there going, if I see another fucking one of them and I can hardly climb the stairs, what have they got that I haven't got? Oh, why are I like them? And, I started to look at it and I turned and I said to Rosie and Graham, do you know what? They're living in a healthy place. They're on the seafront, the sea air, the salt. It was warmer off the island than it is in the mainland. I mean, I had flip flops on. It was beautiful. Even when it trickled a bit of rain, it was still beautiful. And I said, and after that, Graham and Rosie going, there's one, there's one, there's one. And I go, God, stop telling me. I need to get to the island and start but what that shows you, we all say age is but a number, but they weren't on the gyms. I've done the gym way back in the day. They're not in the gyms and burning themselves out and damaging their physical body, and egotistically. I'm not saying it's wrong. Walking is the best one, but they just went out into nature. They went out and walked, and the environment made the difference. The environment was affecting them. None of them were wheezing, coughing. They all looked bloody healthy. It was like an invasion of the elderly. I mean, elderly that were jogging and power walking in their trainers and lycra pants as well. Some of them. Do you know what I mean? So that's me in the future. If you're going to chase something that's good for you. Do you know? I want to experience that. Do you know? I want to jog. About jogging, but
you look at them areas and they've not got the pollution like the cities and the towns where you know, people who live there, you're building, you're breathing in, and that's not healthy for us. This is why we all clamour to go on holiday and go somewhere and experience that.
Well, the island's only 70 miles circumference. It's 35 miles across. It's very small. And so it's minimum pollution, and you're surrounded by the ocean. So, you know, and it's the salt. You can feel the salt on your lips, which is good for the lungs as well, and good for the skin, good for everything you can think of. So I'm not surprised that, you know, that they're jogging along, and they're obviously not thinking, I'm 80, 90 years old. They're going, fuck that, I'm living, and I'm having fun. Exactly. So, yeah.
The thing is, as you get older and older, and you know your life's drawing to that halfway, you're ready to depart, shall I say, or coming up to the age of depart. You kind of get in the thoughts of, I don't want to go yet because I've got all this to do, and so it's like cramming a lot into a shorter space, which makes it, you know, just moves you on to think,
I get you.
Just do it.
Don't cram it in, just do it. I mean, I'm of the mindset, you know, and there's been a few near misses over my life experience. I nearly sort of transitioned a few times, and, you know, I'm not in old age yet. However, I'm on the mindset, you know, if anything, well, it could be any time, any place, anywhere. I don't know. So I might as well just get on and not worry about it. And when it happens, it happens. And do what I love. And I'm finding this timeline we're in is where you can actually do what you love, create, and meet new people, drop the negative Nellies, you know, the low vibrational, moaning victim. Mind you, I was one of those ones, so I do have empathy for that. And for me, it's just, don't even think about that. If you start thinking, remember, thoughts are vibrational energy. And I've been saying recently, thoughts are like alchemy. Oh, I've lost Fay somewhere. I'm chatting to. She's going to reconnect, I'm sure. Thoughts are like vibrational transmissions, which is alchemy. And so be careful what you think. So you start thinking, I'm getting old, and then this is going to happen. Then that is what you're going to manifest through an alchemical transmission. Fay Vale, I'm hoping she does come back. I'm just going to say hi, Sue. Hi, Riding the Frequency. I like the way you spelt that. Hi, Jay from Canada. Where we go? I'm going up. Hi, Gail. We've got Gail. We've done Christine. So I'm just waiting for Faye to return. I'll be busy until I pass over, and then look out. Yeah, don't come to me, love, when you pass over. I'm not going to be your medium. So, I've lost Faye. She will come back in the room. She'll come back in. So, you know, if anyone's got any thoughts on this, what we can do in the last part of the show is about what we've spoken about these experiences, put them up in the chat. And if I can, and if I get Faye back especially, I'll pose the question to Faye. So let's do something totally different on this live show. I am hoping that she will pop back soon. I would sing to you, but I can't sing, so that's not going to happen. Let's see what says. She's lost connection. Let me just see. I may not be able to get through if she's been cut. We're live, and I'm phoning Faye, my guest, but she might be cut off. Okay, it may be her Wi-Fi. She's not picking up even her phone. So yeah, if you have any questions, just pop them in the box. If I don't see them, and then when I check the show later, I will try and reply to it then. We are coming close. We have 10 minutes to go. It's such a shame. I'd like to do some self-advertising now at the end of this live show. Inception podcast itself is on the Forbidden Knowledge News Network, where you, meanwhile, take a look at Gloria's paintings. Ta-da! Is on the Forbidden Knowledge News Network. The amazing Chris Matthew has amazing podcasts, such a diverse variety. Check out the Forbidden Knowledge News Network on Rockfin as well. He's on Facebook too. And I normally have breakfast with Chris Matthew. I try to religiously, literally every morning, listen to his guests. I love the questions. I love the information and the types of guests he brings onto his show. So please go and check Forbidden Knowledge News Network out. Also, please check out Open Minds Chat Show. We are live tomorrow night. I can't remember my guest because I'm not in that mind at the moment, but we are live tomorrow night. But also I have created Open Minds podcast, and this is Waking the Dead Ghost Stories. The email is openmindspodcast@outlook.com. If you have any riveting ghost stories or paranormal moments, send them in an email, and I will be selecting around about 6 for the first 6 podcasts, and I'll bring you onto the show. It'll only be audio, it won't be visual. And if you want to change your name because you just don't want anyone to know it's you just want to share your experience, then I will do that too. So I'm looking for, the most extraordinary ghost stories or paranormal moments, and we'll bring it on Open Minds podcast. I don't think we're going to get Fay back. But as Sue said, meanwhile, take a look at Gloria's paintings, my artwork. I want to thank you all for watching the live. And I know Faye's going to be gutted. She's more like being disconnected. Until the next time I see you all, which will be Sunday, 6 p.m. tomorrow evening, UK time, with a live Open Minds this time, Open Minds chat show. It's bye from me, guys.